Hey everyone, Jamie Scherer from the Fusion Adoption team here, and there's a user on Reddit in the Fusion 360 subreddit that asked how to model intestines in Fusion 360, and I thought to myself, I may never have the chance again to be the person to sculpt intestines in Fusion 360. So I wanted to make a quick video to help the user out. Again, thought this was a really something I could show really quickly just to talk about the Sculpt environment faster than I could type it. So here we go. For the user out there and for anyone who's looking to create, something that's, maybe a little bit organic and have some control for imperfections as opposed to using lofts, let's try the Sculpt environment. So if you're not familiar with the Sculpt environment, the way you get there from the model workspace is to use this Create Form button, which will change the user interface and give you the sculpt tools inside of Fusion 360. And the sculpt tools are subdivisional T-spline geometry that you kind of sculpt using direct manipulation or direct editing techniques. So here's what I suggest you try, the user out there who's looking to make intestines. So, one thing you could try to do is just, maybe sketch out a spline that could represent your intestinal shape. As a quick side note, if you want to turn this into a 3D sketch, pretty easy. All you have to do is make sure you turn on 3D Sketch in the sketch palette. And then with this spline, you can use Move Copy to move the shape in 3 dimensions. So, now I've got a 3D curve, very simple, but we'll use this as our intestine profile. So now I'm going to try a tool in the Sculpt workspace called Pipe. What Pipe does is it takes a path and sweeps a T-spline body along that path. So you'll see what it does. First off, it allows me to select the path. I can control the diameter. If you have a very specific intestinal shape that you're trying to make, I'll just go for something larger. You mentioned you're going to 3D print it. And you can see, if you look at the smooth mode, it's going to sweep that path or that diameter along the path. And then with this new shape, I can go ahead and do some subdivisional modeling techniques to sculpt in, kind of the shape of an intestine. So before you do that, you can also control the segments if you want to have more or less segments breaking up, making this, right? You can see I can kind of have some more subdivisions to allow for more of those, kind of, I don't know, intestinal shapes. So we'll just call them that for now. So now, jumping back in here, what I'll do now, and I'll just do a really quick example, is I could just easily move and scale on the different intersections, right? Or in this case, these edge loops that make up the path along my intestine, and I'll use Edit Form, and simply I'll just scale these up or down. So if I wanted to make this, kind of like a bulging shape here, and then maybe I double click to grab the next intestine loop, and I'll scale that one up as well. And hopefully you'll start to see, I can really quickly, make some bulgy intestinal shapes, move them around to make them, asymmetric, closer to one another. I could even come in and if I grab a loop and right click, I could crease one. If I wanted to have a kind of a sharp intestinal point, I don't know the exact geometry of an intestine in person, just the image that you posted. So if I wanted them to look something like that, I can do that by using crease as another option. So there's my quick tutorial for you. I suggest you kind of go through, play around with the Sculpt environment, and hopefully that'll give you the geometry that you need to 3D print to have and hold your own intestine shape. Hope it helps. Have a great day. See you, everyone.